Hello and welcome back. Putting the downpipe in. I got the old one off. So you can see I had to cut it to get it out. Here's the other piece. So all you do is this is your downpipe, hooks to the turbo right there. Basically what you do is you cut this off, so this will slip down past the firewall. Then you got to cut it again here to get it so it clears the trans cross member. I'll show you that real quick. So you can see it bolts up to there, it snakes down through here, and the problem is you can't clear this with the downpipe. It just won't fit. So this made a lot of sense. I just cut it right through here and then it just fell right out basically. But yeah, that's the simplest solution to get it out. Now I looked for videos on this, on how to put this in there, your downpipe. They don't fit real well. And there goes my phone. Okay, so this goes down in there. Watch it just like drop in now. Let me go from the bottom and I'll show you what we got going on. So if you look up in there, it hits the firewall right there and the transmission over here. So yeah, what I'm gonna have to do is probably cut the firewall or the lip. There's a flange in there. I'll have to cut some stuff out of the way so you can see. But I'll cut into this and then hopefully that'll snake through there. Otherwise, I'll have to unbolt this and slide my trans to the side, which I really don't want to do. Might be the fastest. And then I got to check. For some reason I put the gauges in and now my trans is leaking. But yeah, I just can't get this to clear right. I've gotten it close, but you know, it needs to sit in there, you know, turned even more, and it just won't make that corner. So I got to get to cutting the firewall out, see what works. You know what'll get that out of there, and then go from there. So I'll show you if that cuts it out. I'll kind of give you little clips as I go along. Alright, so as you can see, I cut this stupid heat shield out of the way. Just heat protects it, and you can see that lip. I don't have to cut the firewall out, like part of the firewall. I just got to cut that lip off. So I'm going to try to get in there with an angle grinder, nip that off, maybe bend it out of the way and just leave it attached or something, just so it'll clear. So I'm going to give that a shot and see what happens. Alright, as you can see, I got it in there. It was a really tight fit still. So you can see I just cut it from right here to right there. Just enough to get it to swing through. Actually fits pretty nice. I mean, it is still tight. You got to tap it through. I messed up this corner before I put it through. That was something else. So I'll just bend that out. It's no big deal. But it is in there. Whoop. Yeah. So yeah, it does fit very tightly. Cut that little section out. Now it's in there nicely. So gonna get to putting the V-band on it, tighten everything down, and put the rest of the pipe together. We'll be able to fire this thing up. Alright, as you can see, it's hooked up to the turbo now. It's a tight fit, everything's tight, hard to do. You can see it right there, barely clears everything, barely. And then here it is clamped up. It looks a little funny, this clamp is sitting on there weird. But it should seal just fine. It's just the clamp. The pipes are going together right. Clamp isn't. So should be totally fine. I think it turned out pretty good. I mean, if you look up there, I mean, it is tight, 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 tight. So we'll see if it makes any difference. And all right, so right off the get-go, I don't know if the camera will pick it up or not. You can kind of hear the turbo whistle out of the exhaust at idle. That wasn't there before. Slight leak, not horrible. I'll drive it a little bit and I'll tighten that bank clamp a little more, see if it'll pull it in just about right. I don't have the clamp on in the middle on purpose, so that allows that stuff to kind of adjust itself. And once it's all good to go, I'll tighten it all down and should be ready to rock and roll. Alright, it is a beautiful day in Michigan here. Kinda, not really. It is snowing. It was 70 degrees yesterday, or 60, 62 or something. A lot warmer than it is now. And now it is snowing. So we're taking on the first test drive with the new downpipe. The turbo, you can actually hear the turbo. Like, and it's not like this, like you could hear the turbo before. It's hard to explain, but you could hear the turbo before, but it was more, you could hear the turbo in the intake, if that makes any sense, and not in the exhaust. The exhaust sounded kind of like a V8, not, you know, just like a high performance V8, not really anything special, you know, like a turbo or something. And you could hear the whistling from the intake. Now, if you can actually hear, it used to, like, when you got on the gas, you could hear it whistle a bit, and then you'd pass like 1500 RPMs. Turbo, you wouldn't hear it anymore. You'd hear more of the exhaust noise. Now you actually, when you get on it, that turbo, you can kind of tell through the RPM band a little more. The camera's probably not going to pick it up right, but it actually has much more of a whistle in the exhaust side. The exhaust note's got more of a whistle as opposed to the sound of combustion. Like, I don't know, I like this. This is starting to sound good. It used to be this, I don't know, I didn't like the way these sound when you start getting on the gas. They just were too much like a gas motor, not enough like a diesel. Like, I like to hear my turbo scream. I like to hear the, you know, the diesels have their own sound to them, like the Dodge. I mean, that sounds like a semi-truck. But this now has a lot more of a, the turbo does a lot more screaming in this thing than your average V8. Like stock 7.3, you can't really hear the turbo. So that's cool. I like that. As to exhaust temperatures, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens here. Wow. Okay, so I noticed on the turbo, just that down pipe, I noticed probably a 200-degree difference in exhaust temps, and I'm not joking. It used to hit about 1,000 degrees. Right there, it barely got over 8. I That's impressive. That's almost incredible that that's what would happen. I like that. This truck is starting to come together. I can't imagine what this will be like with a chip and everything else. A chip and electronic fuel system, and this thing will probably rip. I don't know if you can hear that whistling over top of the exhaust note. Awesome. So I will say, doing the downpipe, huge improvement. That's not even a fancy one. That's just an MB or a diamond die, you know, a cheap one, not an MBRP or anything. So yeah, if you're gonna do it, it's a little bit of a pain in the neck, but totally worth it. Just preliminary. You know, I haven't driven this truck enough to know if I'm gonna get fuel economy gain. I imagine I will, more complete combustion or something. So thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.